Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. This video is intended to demonstrate the difference between HTTP GET and POST for form data. Now, if you recall from the lectures, basically this is two different ways to send data from a form to a backend processing script. And we kind of covered the highlights in class, but I really just wanted to show you a simple little demo to really demonstrate the key differences. Now, if you remember, GET is going to send your data through the query string. POST is going to send it, or not encrypted, but it's going to send it through your form data. Basically, it's going to be kind of sent semi-invisible to the user. Reason why I'm making this point is, again, that anybody can easily modify either of these variables if they know what they're doing. Get is a lot easier to modify that because you'll see it in the URL bar. Post you could modify in the dev tools if you really want to, but it's a lot harder for the common user to do it. On the flip side, if you want a user to say bookmark your query, it's a lot easier to bookmark something that is sent via query string instead of via post. But let me at least get into the demo here, and I'll kind of show you what we've got going on here. Okay. So what we're going to do now is basically get into a short little demo to really show you the differences. And if you know this already, again, feel free to kind of skip by this, but not everybody is aware of this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this through my Google Cloud instance. Again, hopefully to familiarize you with the environment and my process for handling it. Again, I'm going to connect here, slide you over, too much stuff open. And what I'm going to do is set up two pages. Now I will put the code up in Blackboard for you just in case if you want. Now, as a forewarning, I guess two things. One, I've switched to this light mode. My preference is dark, but it's a lot harder to read the dark mode I find in at least watching the stream. But let's go over to our HTML directory, and I'm going to make a folder in here. And again, it's locked behind sudo permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and let's make this touch wider, sudo make directory test form. All right, so we're going to go into that test form with cd. And now again, you have to use sudo to edit the files. Probably should do a separate demo for unlocking that because this is going to get annoying for everybody. Separate video. I'm going to use sudo for now. And if you remember, I'm going to use Vim. Feel free to use Nano or your editor of choice. Let's call this test_get.html. Now I'm going to get my page set up and give it a header, get demo. Just do this all in one line. Okay. Now our body tag. Alrighty. Now, first thing we need is a form, and we're going to say action equals, let's say process get.php. So we're going to send this to a backend script. And the method is the important part. Here we're going to say method equals get. All right. So we've defined our form. Now let's define a couple of input fields again, go through the slides and the associated materials for learning about all the different form elements you can have. You'll have an assignment to work with this anyway. I'm going to create a hidden field. So type equals hidden, name equals called honeypot, value equals, can type today, hello there. Close it off. Let's also create a text box. Name equals username, good enough. Let's give this a label. Caption equals username, for equals username. And let's give it a submit button. Type equals submit, good enough. Save. Okay, so basic form here, nothing too crazy. Should be a form with a couple of fields one field that we see with a label, a hidden field. It's going to be sent through get, meaning you're going to see it pop through the query string. And we've got a basic submit button here. And it is in our web page /test form. All right, so I'm going to grab my IP address here, test form. And because we haven't set up any kind of directory locking or anything like that, we're just going to see the list of files. HTML. I have my label syntax incorrect. What am I forgetting? Label tag equals HTML. Oh. Okay. I don't use the label tag often enough. It's not caption. That's just silly. Username label. There we go. Okay. Correct code in here. Again, I'm going to leave this in because I like showing you my little screw-ups, but I'll have the separate code, or the final code separate. Hey, there's our label right there. Okay. I'm going to submit this just to try it out. It's not going to work because we haven't created the processing script yet, but let's just say my username is Eric. Not found. Makes sense. We haven't created process_get.php. However, we do see the query string. All right, so question mark starts it off. You see your form name equals whatever was in there. So hello plus there, because there's space. Ampersand username. So we're separating out our various form variables with ampersands. Username equals Eric. If I had 20 other input fields in here, I would see and something, and something, and something. All right, so this is very easy to tweak. We'll get into this in a minute. Let's create this process form now. All right, so I'm going to create a new form, and this was process_get.php. PHP, close this off. The PHP side's not required for you, just kind of demonstrating how you could process it. And I'm just going to say echo username plus $_get username. Right? That's what we said, username. And let's pop in a line break. And then let's also say honeypot plus $get honeypot. And the reason why I'm calling this honeypot is sometimes with forms you will pre-populate hidden fields to try and like trip up bots. It's not super effective these days, but it's one way that you can kind of keep track of variables off the screen that you don't want the users to see. So I can refresh this page now, and I see did I forget something? Let's resend the data. 0, 0. Why are you 0? All right, so PHP, I've been jumping through too many languages lately. I keep forgetting this is not JavaScript. PHP, you concatenate strings with the dot, not with the plus. Don't make my mistakes. Okay, so what we have here is echo username. So we're echoing out a string, and then we're concatenating it. We're sticking in the variable name from our get form, line break, same thing here. Okay, let's save, let's refresh this. Here is my data that I want to spit out. Now we're saying before you can update the query string, I could say this is Eric Fredericks. I could say this is student A. Honeypot doesn't change, right? Unless if I tweak it up here, which I can do. Say 0x1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm tweaking a hidden field variable. Again, the query string you can modify up here. Easy to bookmark, easy for users to mock up a bit. Depends on your preferred strategy. Okay, so we have this form. Now what we can also do is I'm going to go ahead and I will create separate files for you all. But what I'm going to do is just change method equals get to method equals post. Okay? And what I need to do now is go back to my test form. Make sure that loads. And we change this get to post. And what we see now, data's still there. Okay, so let's go back to our form. Let's say this is Eric. I'm gonna submit. Here's my username, here's my honeypot. We don't see the data in the URL bar. Difference between get and post. Now, if I pop open my console, or sorry, my web developer tools, let's go to our network, and let's look at this from the beginning here. So we're going to load our page. We see our get, let's say Eric. We see that this thing has loaded. We click on it, and in here we should see the form data. Hey, load. Here it is. Had the wrong button up. So DevTools, network, click the thing that loads. Here's our data, honeypot, Eric. Now, it is still visible in the browser. Nothing is hidden here, but it's a lot harder for users to get to. So, kind of a disjointed demo, had a couple of typos here and there. That's fine. I will have the full source code for you in Blackboard. Any questions, let me know, but simple get versus post demo. Bye.